Tuesday 17th December we're at the domestic terminal, which is next to the international terminal at Kathmandu airport. The gates aren't open yet to let us inside, but it's about 6:30 a.m. The flight's at 8 a.m, so here pretty early. We've arrived at Lukla airport and here comes the plane, just on cue. When you arrive at the airport, you go into where you collect your baggage. There's a little signboard there that's got a QR code for the Trek card. So pre-fill that out and submit that, and then you get a submission number. And then when you go to the trekking office, the card will be ready, I guess. This is the main street of Lukla. There's lots of shops here, not many people, and the streets are clean. The QR code that I use to pre-fill the application to get my trekking card is actually an old website, the lady said, in here. So you just come here with your passport and you need your local phone number and an emergency phone number and 3,000 rupees for the trek card, and then you just move along here to the police window and again give them your phone number and the trek card and they'll register you. First day of trekking, going from Lukla to Phakding. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I've just been trekking for, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour, and it's really sunny. So managed to find a hat handy and ripped the jacket off for a while. So don't want to get a sweater up, and we know it's going to get cold. So yeah, beautiful day for trekking. En route to Phakding, come across our first suspension bridge. There'll be some crazy ones ahead of us, and yes, give way to the animal trains. Accommodation at Phakding, nice little room, got your own toilet, hot shower. What else do you need? Just had a funny little interaction with the lady that showed me the room of 500 rupee, which is about $5, and she knocked on my room about 5:45 and said, "Dinner's ready." I said, "I'm not doing dinner." And she said, "Oh, let me check if that's okay." And then she come back and said, a breakfast. I said, "Yeah, I'll do breakfast." So perhaps they prepared food to sell for dinner, but I just didn't want to have dinner. And then I said, "Oh, the hot water's not working." And she said she'd turn it on. So when I thought I wasn't going to get a hot shower because I couldn't be bothered asking them, I'm now going to get a hot shower. And then she says, "Oh, the room with Wi-Fi and charging is 1,000 rupee." So I said, "Yeah, that's absolutely fine. 1,000's fine, and I'll see you up there for breakfast." So now I'm actually going to get a hot shower. So I'm going to strip off and yeah, and get clean. Day 2 trekking, and we're going from Phakding to Namche Bazaar, and about halfway is Monjo, and I'm probably about an hour away from Monjo, and we'll stop there and take a break. Arrived in the little village of Monjo, and down here at Monjo we've got a trek card checkpoint into the Sagarmatha National Park. Arrived in Monjo from Phakding, 2.5 hour trek. Now, as I don't have a guide, you need to come over to this booth over to the left and get a permit. That permit's 3,000 rupee, about $30 US. So you paid $30 US at Lukla for the trek card and another $30 US to get into the national park. And once you've got that permit, come over to the police checkpoint and he'll take down your details, and then we head off to Namche Bazaar. Amazing people carrying these loads up these hills. Arrived at the famous Hillary Suspension Bridge. Probably another hour and a half or maybe 2 hours to Namche and another 500 metres of elevation, but Here we are, and that's the bridge. And there's no one here. It's amazing. Great time of year to be trekking. We have another police checkpoint, and we're about 30 minutes before Namche Bazaar. Well, I've arrived at Namche Bazaar, and that's been a seriously hard 6-hour slog. So yeah, what a beautiful looking town. So I'm just on the entrance, and I'm going to head in there and yeah, I'll look for some accommodation and sit down. Oh, beautiful paintings. Checked into the Khumbu Lodge in Namche Bazaar, so yeah, nice room, got Wi-Fi, got a hot shower, probably be the last hot shower for a while. Some nice views. Namche Bazaar, I'm staying at the Khumbu Lodge, very nice lodge, 3,500 rupee. Today's a day to acclimatise, and I'm going to hike up to the Everest View Hotel. That's an elevation of 3,900 metres and an increase of elevation of about 500 metres. So I spent a bit of time up there, and today, yeah, just hanging around Namche, acclimatising before the next part of the trek. So today is day 3, and let's go. Been hiking for about an hour now, and the Everest View Hotel is probably about 5 minutes away, just down around that track around to the left. Get there and we'll sit down and enjoy the view, and nice sunny day, so we will be able to see Everest. Hotel Everest View. We'll go up these steps and see what we can see. Yes, the first real live sighting for me of Everest. I actually come the long way around because I don't have a guide, and I didn't take much notice of my GPS. So it took me 2.5 hours to thank you, to get here, and I went via Kumjung village. So tomorrow, when I do start trekking towards base camp from Namche Bazaar, I'll have my directions. I'll give you a close-up of Everest. Day 4 of trekking. I've been walking for about 1 hour 45 minutes and come to a village called Kangjung Ma. And this is where I came yesterday, and just at the end of this building in front of us is where I turned left to head up to Everest View Hotel. Most people head straight out the back of Namche and straight up the hill to Everest View, but I didn't really know where I was going, so I came this way and then turned left at this building. Today I'm heading to Phortse, P-H-O-R-T-S-E village. Most trekkers, and in fact almost all trekkers, head towards Dingboche, but I'm going to go just a slightly different route because there's probably very few trekkers heading that direction, and apparently on that side of the valley the panoramic views are awesome. First viewing of Amadablam, very distinctive mountain, and over to the left is Lhotse, and just where you can see cloud to the left of Lhotse, just around there, around the corner, you can't see it, but that's where Everest is.
To the Gokyo, no?
Yeah. Was there a signage back there, was there?
Alvaro.
Alberto.
And Marta.
And your guide? Right. So, yeah, I didn't even look at the sign. I didn't look at my map, so I just started walking again. So,
It's not far yet. It's just like
yeah.
there.
Well, that was funny. I started trekking again without looking at my maps, and I missed the signage to Gokyo to then head towards Phortse. So I ran into my Spanish friends that I met at the airport and their guide, and they let me know that I've already walked past my turn-off point. So yeah, I'm going to backtrack and find that and then head where I should be heading. I just backtracked 5 minutes to the last little village, and a beautiful lady asked me where I was going. I said Gokyo. So she took me through a house into the backyard and showed me the trail and which one to take to go uphill to head towards Gokyo, or for me, Phortse. And here we go, a few stairs ahead. I'm a Dublin. These guys are moving faster than I am. Namaste. Ride this horse this morning? Yeah. Okay. And you'll carry equipment on this animal?
Yeah.
Fantastic. How much did the horse cost you?
10,000
10,000 rupee?
rupees, yeah. Maybe $900.
$900? Wow. That's fantastic. Beautiful horse. Okay, see you. Phortse guest house?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. In the village of Mongla, elevation 3975 metres. On my way to Phortse, and I'm just ordering some lunch, some Tibetan bread and cheese and a honey lemon ginger tea. Probably got about 2 hours more to get to Phortse. This is a solar hot water system. Descended 350 metres from Mongla village to this bridge, and then I've probably got another 250 metres uphill to get to Phortse. Arrived at the entrance gates to Phortse. Day 5 of trekking. Below me is Phortse. I've trekked uphill half an hour to get to this point, and we're heading towards Dingboche today. And the first town on the way is Phambouche. 3 trekkers have come past me and they've got their porta car in their gear. These boys are too busy eating to worry about me. The other side of the valley is the Dingboche direction, heading towards Phambouche, and as you go down there you'll go across a bridge, and that'll be your path to Phambouche, and I'm just up on this trail on this side of the hill. Arrived in Phambouche. It's taken 4 hours from Phortse. I'm going to rest up for a while and then head towards Dingboche. That's a load of steel on his back. Yo-ho! Dingboche. Today's trek from Phortse to Dingboche is a solid 7 hours. I just got here and checked into the hotel countryside. 1,000 rupee a night for a room with your own ensuite bathroom, and you have to eat your meals here as well for that price. And I'll stay here for 2 nights. Tomorrow's a hike to acclimatise, is an acclimatisation day. Hiked up from Dingboche at 4,400 metres up to an elevation of 5,100 metres. Tomorrow we'll go from Dingboche and we'll travel past Phortse, and we're going to go past Chola Lake and head to Lobuche. Nature at 5,100 metres. Day 7 trekking from Dingboche to Lobuche. Been on the trail for about 3 hours. Got to go across this bridge and we get to the little village of Dzongla. And from Dzongla we are uphill to Lobuche. Sketchy piece of real estate to be trekking under, so we're not wasting any time here. At elevation 4,600 metres, and we've come from that direction, from Dingboche, and we're heading uphill in a northerly direction up that goat track. This is a memorial at the top of that steep climb heading towards Lobuche. Probably about another 1 hour to get to Lobuche. And when I come back, I'm going to go through the Cholo Pass towards Gokyo. And that track on the other side is the path towards Gokyo Lake. Made it to Lobuche. That was a good 5.5 hour trek from Dingboche. Day 8, and we're going from Lobuche to Gorak Shep. Probably about a 2.5 hour trek. And up here we go. Day 8, and we've made Gorak Shep. That's a Khumbu icefall. This is Gorak Shep. And this afternoon we're going to hike up to Acclimatization at 5,500 metres and look at the sunset over Everest. Hiked up to Acclimatization to get the best view of Everest, and that's it in the background with the cloud over the top. I was going to try and stay here till sunset because it's such a beautiful view, but it's so windy up here and so cold, and I've got to get back down off this hill safely in some daylight. So that's Everest. That's the best view you get unless you're climbing it. There are horse rides from Gorak Shep to base camp. The famous base camp rock that's been graffitied. The famous Khumbu icefall. Well, I took the wrong turn and ended up down there, and I just scrambled up this rockfall and made it up here, and I didn't know whether I was going to make it. It was so slippery, but I'm up here now, and what I've got to do is get down here safely and get back on that track down there and then head that way. That's Acclimatization, where I was up earlier today, and I've got to get that track and get back to camp. Whoo-hoo. Look at this legendary porter. I gave him 1,000 rupee. He must be carrying 30 kilos on his back. What a legend. We couldn't be doing that. Namaste. Been trekking just under 3 hours from Gorak, Shep. We've gone past Lobuche and we've come to a junction in the path, and I'm heading to the Cholo Pass to Dzongla, and there's a little signpost here that shows you the direction. Heading towards that path, but I've just come across a icy stream, so I've just made a little pathway with some rocks and we should be able to get across there okay. After passing over that little lake, coming along this mountain trail, it's very narrow, very dangerous, and you really got to watch every step. There's a little rest spot here, and then we're going to continue along, and the path looks a little bit better down there, and you can actually see that from the acclimatization hike from Dingboche. That's Lukla. And from Lukla it's a really steep climb up there, and then you come across all the monuments on your way to Lobuche. Arrived in Dzongla, 5.5 hour hike from Gorak, Shep. Day 10 trekking, we're heading from Dzongla towards Gokyo Lake. Might not make that far today, and we're heading up the Cholo Pass, so it looks like there's a steep climb ahead of us. We've been on the trail for an hour and a half. This has been an incredibly steep climb up. We're heading towards Gokyo and just taking a little break here at 5,100 metres. 5,200 metres. We've come to the glacier. We're just going to skirt around the outside, but we'll be putting on some crampons soon and walking on ice. At the top of Cholo Pass, 5,400 metres, and there's even a charging station here. 5 hour slog so far, but luckily we're downhill for the rest of the way. This is the village of Dragnag. We've trekked from Dzongla over the glacier, over the Cholo Pass, and it's taken 6 good hours to get here. Going to stay here the night and then probably a couple of hours to get to Gokyo Lake tomorrow. Day 11, we're trekking from Dragnag to Gokyo Lake. It's only a 2 or 3 hour hike. There's a few people on the trail and a few friends we met along the way. Still on the way to Gokyo. That trail on that hill is the way to Gokyo Ray, or Gokyo Ri. Steep climb to get up over to Gokyo. One misstep up this trail and you're going down to your death, I reckon. It's very steep, very sketchy, right on the edge. Gokyo Lake and the village of Gokyo.
You want? Yeah. Come. No? Are you sure?
Ahora, sexy, ahora.
Day 12, we're leaving Gokyo Lake, heading up the Renjo Pass, up to about 5,400 metres and heading towards Lungden. There were these 2 Kiwi legends, look at them go. And our guide. 3.5 hours to get up to the top of Renjo Pass at 5,400 metres. Hell of a climb. And now we've got to go down. I mean, going down's kind of easier, but it's kind of sketchy. taken 6 hours from Gokyo Lake to get to Lungden, and we're going to stop here for lunch. Today we trekked from Gokyo Lake over the Renjo Pass all the way down to Thame. It's taken us 11 hours to get here, 40,000 steps and a hard day's trekking, and we made it here in the dark. And yeah, we're going to settle in for the night and hopefully get something to eat and get some sleep. Day 13, and we're trekking from Thame to Namche Bazaar, and it's probably about a 4-hour hike. Yesterday was 11 hours on the trails and a really hard day, 40,000 steps, but today, much more cruisy day. We'll get to Namche, and the people I'm hanging out with might go further, but I'll stay there the night and get some washing done and have a shave. Thame, the home of Tenzin Norgay Sherpa. Three hours from Thame to Namche Bazaar. Day 14, I trekked from Namche Bazaar to Lukla Airport. I come straight to the airport because I don't have a return ticket. I've booked nothing in advance on this trip. The airport was deserted at 2:30 in the afternoon, but a lady called someone from Summit Air and he came to his office and I purchased a ticket for tomorrow morning. This whole trip I've not booked a flight until the day before. I've not pre-booked any accommodation and everything's worked out a treat. Today's trek was 7 hours and 35,000 steps, and day 14 is my last day trekking.